Welcome weather enthusiasts to this awareness video on winter flooding. Even though we tend to think of ice and snow during the winter time, the combination of melting snow, rainfall, increased runoff due to frozen ground, and ice jams can still yield the potential for significant flooding. Flooding in fact can occur at any time of the year, day or night. This is part of what makes it so dangerous. Flooding during the winter can be the result of three separate sources: heavy rainfall, melting of snow, and ice jams. Or, in many cases, a combination of all three. In addition, the presence of frozen ground can prevent water from percolating deeper into the soil, increasing runoff and the potential for flooding. Generally, snowmelt alone will cause rises in rivers and/or minor lowland field and road flooding. Meanwhile, the combination of heavy rainfall and substantial snowmelt can lead to water at the surface rapidly running off into streams and rivers, causing widespread flooding. This scenario typically occurs at the end of winter and early spring with the onset of milder weather, such as April 2011, but it can occur at any time. Lastly, flooding from ice jams is usually caused by a prolonged warm spell accelerating snowmelt, which leads to rises in water levels in rivers. The rise in water level causes river ice to break up. The ice floats downstream and a jam tends to develop where there is an obstruction to the natural flow, such as along bends in the river, along intersections of rivers and streams, or man-made structures like a bridge. Ice jams can result in a rapid and dramatic rise in water levels along major rivers or smaller waterways. Ice jams may also develop in the early winter during what's called the freeze-up stage, when ice forms within a river during spells of extremely cold temperatures. The ice can restrict the normal flow of water on the river, which can result in flooding. Melting snowpack may also contribute to flash floods produced by ice jams on creeks and rivers. Thick layers of ice often form on streams and rivers during the winter. Melting snow and/or warm rain running into streams may lift and break this ice, allowing large chunks of ice to jam against bridges or other structures. This causes the water to rise rapidly behind the ice jam. If the water is suddenly released, serious flash flooding can occur downstream. Huge chunks of ice can be pushed onto the shore and through houses and buildings. In order to provide advance notice of possible flooding, the National Weather Service issues flood watches and warnings. A flood watch means that flooding is possible within the next 12 to 36 hours, and preparation should be made in case of flooding. A flood warning means that flooding is imminent or occurring, and immediate safety actions are necessary. Our Advanced Hydrologic Prediction Service, or AHAPS webpage, will display current and forecast river levels at various points across the hydrologic basin. You can view these data at the URL listed at the bottom of the slide. From these and other data, National Weather Service meteorologists and hydrologists issue watches and warnings to mitigate the societal impact associated with flooding. One way to be prepared is to pay attention to the spring flood outlook, which is issued from January into the spring months. In these 2-week outlooks, we provide information about the character of the snowpack and the potential for spring flooding. The spring flood outlook can also be found on our webpage at weather.gov/Burlington. Here are some safety and preparedness tips. As the weather becomes more moderate with mild temperatures, be alert for ice breakup and the increased likelihood of ice jams. Be alert to any rapid rises or falls in river levels. A fluctuation in a river level may indicate that an ice jam has formed. Ice jams can result in dangerous flooding in a short period of time. As an example, we see here the hydrograph from the Winooski River at Montpelier from March 10 through 12, 1992. This was the event that inundated downtown Montpelier with floodwaters. National Weather Service forecasters and hydrologists use data such as these to help anticipate the presence of ice jams. However, not all ice jams occur in the vicinity of a river gauge, making their detection difficult. Here are some additional safety tips. Never drive a car into a flooded roadway. As we like to say, turn around, don't drown. Cars easily become stuck or washed away in floodwaters, and it is particularly dangerous at night when road washouts may be difficult to see until it's too late. Be alert for flooding if you live along any river or stream. Know the history of flooding in your area and be prepared to seek higher ground if floodwaters approach. Always plan ahead by listening to the weather forecast, either on NOAA Weather Radio or by monitoring our webpage at weather.gov/Burlington. Report any flooding to the appropriate authorities and ask them to relay those reports to the National Weather Service. Always heed the advice of local officials concerning the need to evacuate. For more information, visit us on the web at weather.gov/Burlington, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and have a pleasant rest of your day.